about the arterial circulation in the neck, head, and in the brain, the Circle of Willis. So when you're taking a look at this video right here, you'll notice on this model that you see the common carotid artery. This whole big thing section right here is a common carotid. The common carotid then is going to split into the external carotid and the internal carotid. We know the external carotid is going to, this is it because it's going to continue upwards. As it continues upwards, it turns into the superior temporal artery. The internal carotid moves down and is going to dive really deep into the carotid canal. Right? And we're going to see how it comes up through the carotid canal in a second. Now, another very important thing to note is that you see this artery right here. This is your vertebral artery. Notice that it's resting on the transverse foramen of your cervical vertebrae. One of the reasons why I did have you guys memorize the transverse foramen is because this vertebral artery right here, right, only starts at the thoracic region and then ascends up. As it ascends up, you can see it coming through right here. Here's the left, here's the right vertebral arteries. It's a fuse. It forms this caterpillar-like structure that we call the basilar artery. The basilar artery is found in the brainstem region. It ascends upwards, and as it ascends up, it turns into the right and the left posterior cerebral artery. Now, these two arteries we see here and here. These are the middle cerebral arteries. And what we're going to notice is that this middle cerebral artery is actually the internal carotid. As it ascended up through the carotid canal, it turns into the middle cerebral on each side. This area right here, this is your posterior communicating arteries. One here and one here. And notice what we're going to see is a big circular arrangement of arteries that we call the Circle of Willis. All right, so here's a middle cerebral, posterior communicating on each side, and then you have the anterior communicating. Let me phrase that. Anterior cerebral. The one that looks like a little antenna, that's your anterior cerebral artery. And they're found really close to the olfactory nerve that is going to be resting right on that frontal lobe. Right? This area right here that connects the two anterior cerebral artery, this is the anterior communicating artery. So when you see a combination of the anterior communicating, anterior cerebral, middle cerebral, posterior communicating, posterior cerebral, it forms one big circle, right, of the Circle of Willis that we hope is there so that we can resist any kind of blockage and we can mitigate any kind of stroke-like conditions on either one of these.